Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I'm back by somewhat unpopular demand. Popular demand, I guess, depending on who you are and if you're a fan or not. And in this series, I'm going to pick on the demographic that was most offended by the last series of videos, which kind of surprised me. It was straight women. And so I'm going to have a little bit of fun at their expense. And this was spawned from being bored at work. This happens, and the internal conflict I had listening to these two women bitch about how hard it is to find a date. And I'm sitting here listening to myself, oh, it's hard to find a man, it's hard to find a man. And they're not putting qualifiers there, they're just, it's hard to find a man. And I'm listening to them, and one of them, for her age, was moderately attractive, I guess. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, bullshit, but I'm not verbalizing this because I don't need any sexual harassment suits or anything like that, and I just didn't feel like an argument to work over whether or not somebody can get a date or get laid. I don't want to know, honestly. And so, anyway, I'd remembered listening to a Honey Badger podcast, and don't ask me for specifics. If you want to, there's Google. But women will only take about 30% of the general male population as dateable, whereas men will take about 70% as dateable. And I think a lot of that has to do with the roles that we play in society. So the question we're going to be testing is it harder to find a date as a man or as a woman? And personally, I feel that as a woman, it's going to be much easier. Mostly because I feel that women are in... I'm going to put this as kind of a business analogy. Women are more in the role of a manager. They're an HR department, so to speak. Men act as the job applicants. Men throw their applications out there via pickup lines or however else men try to get the attention of a woman. And being a man, trust me, I get it. It's hard to be creative with this and all that fun stuff, and it sucks. And it is, actually. It's a lot like sending out job apps. As you just kind of go and send the same application out to a multitude and just hope you get a response. And with women being in the more managerial role, they can be picky and go, okay, I've got X number of suitors. I can pick and choose the best of the bunch, and that's who I'll accept. And so I think that because of that nature and because of how society's set up to be that way, and I'm not going to comment on whether I think that's good or bad or ugly, I think it just is what it is. I think that simply because of that, I think that as a woman, I'm going to get a multitude more attention than I would as a guy. And so for this experiment, what we're going to do is we're going to use pictures of just me. That way we can control the attractiveness variable as much as possible. It's the same goddamn person. So as far as facial symmetry, things like that are known to be attractiveness quantifiers, that is controlled for just by that alone. And we'll run on multiple popular dating sites, things like Plenty of Fish, sites like that, Meet Me. And what we'll do is on each one, we'll time how long it takes to get 100 pickup attempts. Good, bad, or ugly, just pickup attempts. And we want to run it both as a man and as a woman, and I think just for comparisons, I think since a lot of this whole Ellie project has been seeing things from the other gender's point of view, or the other sex's point of view, I guess, it would be interesting to see what a woman thinks about running the dating project as a guy. Now, she'll have to use my pictures, naturally. We've got a control for that. But I'd be interested to know what a woman says about what it's like trying to date as a guy. And again, I think as a guy, going into seeing how life is as a woman, I think the pickup attempts are going to be just all over the place. I'm expecting a lot of dick pics, so we'll break out our microscopes and we'll make fun of them probably in a future video. May even give you guys a dating site review thing, bring you along for the ride as much as possible. the fun part's going to be trying to find a woman to run these, and so we'll see how that goes, and we'll really see how that goes, because I know as a guy going through some of these sites, it can take an entire quarter just to get 7 women to pick up on you, and that's going to be another criteria. We can't make the first move. So that's going to also factor in, I think, a lot. I think that since whoever's running the experiment as a guy is going to have to allow for women to make the first move, they're going to have to be a lot more picky in how they craft that profile. But I think that's a good reason to have a woman doing it, is they'll be able to craft a profile that should attract women. Whereas as a guy, I can pretty much just go, okay, here's a generic profile that I see all the time that I might nibble to. So there's that. But I'm also going to be picky as a woman, and I'm going to say no smokers, no drug addicts. And that's really about it, honestly. I think I'm going to leave it there, but even then, that should screen out a lot of people. So anyway, that's the experiment. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.